What would you do if a heart attack struck when no one was around to help? It's a frightening thought, but it's a reality faced by countless Americans each year. Over 800,000 people experience a heart attack annually, and for many, it happens when they're completely alone. I'm Dr. Robert Hayes, a cardiologist with over 3 decades of experience caring for seniors and guiding them through life's toughest health challenges. I've seen how having the right knowledge at the right time can mean the difference between life and death. In today's video, I'll show you the life-saving steps you can take if you're ever in this situation. Stay with me and don't forget to comment your city below, like this video, and subscribe for more critical advice. Let's start with the most important step, recognizing the symptoms. 1. Recognize the symptoms and act quickly. As a cardiologist, one of the most important lessons I share with my patients is how to recognize the early warning signs of a heart attack. These moments are critical, especially if you're alone. Heart attacks rarely announce themselves dramatically, like in the movies. Instead, they can begin subtly, with symptoms that are easy to overlook or dismiss. When a heart attack starts, you might feel a discomfort in your chest. It's often described as pressure, tightness, or even a burning sensation, not always sharp pain. This discomfort may come and go, or it might linger. But here's something crucial. A heart attack doesn't always limit itself to your chest. You might feel pain spreading to your left arm, back, neck, jaw, or even your stomach. Shortness of breath can strike out of nowhere, and sometimes it's accompanied by cold, clammy sweats. I've had patients tell me they just felt unusually tired or lightheaded, but they brushed it off as nothing. What I always emphasize is to trust your instincts. If you feel weak, nauseous, or a sense of unease, like something terrible is about to happen, don't ignore it. That gut feeling has saved lives. These subtle symptoms, especially for older adults, can easily be mistaken for fatigue or indigestion. But time is everything when your heart is in distress. I've seen this hesitation too many times. A patient of mine, John, a retired teacher, once told me he'd been experiencing mild chest discomfort while watching TV. He assumed it was heartburn and didn't act until hours later when the pain became unbearable. By the time he arrived at the hospital, the damage to his heart was severe. If John had recognized the signs and acted quickly, his outcome would have been entirely different. I know it's easy to second-guess yourself. You might wonder, am I overreacting? Is this really serious? Let me tell you this, when it comes to your heart, it's always better to be safe than sorry. The rule I give to all my patients is simple. If these symptoms last more than 5 or 10 minutes, or if they intensify, treat it as an emergency. Don't try to push through the discomfort or convince yourself it's nothing. The first thing you need to do is stop whatever you're doing. Sit down and acknowledge the situation. I've seen denial cost precious time, and in cases of a heart attack, every minute counts. Your next step is to prepare to call 911, even if you feel unsure. Keep your phone close or use a voice-activated assistant if you feel weak. Recognizing the symptoms of a heart attack is the first and most important step. The earlier you act, the better your chances of survival. Remember, denial or hesitation can be deadly. Now that you know how to identify the signs, let's move on to the next critical step: calling for help. 2. Call 911 and prepare for help. Once you've recognized the symptoms of a heart attack, the next step is critical: calling for help. Time isn't just important, it's everything. As a cardiologist, I've seen how every minute without medical attention increases the risk of serious damage to the heart. This is why dialing 911 must be your immediate action. When you're alone, calling 911 can feel overwhelming, especially if your symptoms are intense. But remember, you don't have to do this perfectly, you just have to do it. Keep your phone nearby at all times, especially if you're at risk for heart issues. If you feel weak or disoriented, Use voice-activated assistants like Siri or Alexa to make the call for you. Clearly state, "I believe I'm having a heart attack," and provide your location. Even if you're unsure or the symptoms feel mild, it's better to call and let professionals assess the situation. I had a patient, Roger, who hesitated to call because he didn't want to bother anyone. By the time he reached the hospital, precious time had been lost. I always tell my patients, you're never bothering emergency services when your heart is involved. They're there to save lives, and yours is worth the call. While you're on the line with 911, follow their instructions carefully. Many dispatchers are trained to guide you through what to do while waiting for the ambulance. This might include staying calm, sitting in a safe position, or preparing the area for emergency responders. Put the phone on speaker if possible, so you can keep your hands free. One thing you absolutely should not do is attempt to drive yourself to the hospital. I know the temptation. It's faster, you're in control, but it's also incredibly dangerous. I've seen patients lose consciousness at the wheel, putting both themselves and others in jeopardy. Instead, trust the professionals to get to you quickly and safely. If you're in a public space, such as a store or park, and there are people nearby, don't hesitate to alert them. Shout for help or make it clear that you're experiencing an emergency. Most people want to help but might not realize what's happening unless you tell them. And if you have a medical alert device, now is the time to activate it. These tools can be lifesavers, especially for seniors who live alone. As you wait for help to arrive, focus on conserving your energy and keeping calm. Sit down if you're standing, or lie down with your upper body slightly elevated if you're more comfortable that way. The goal is to keep your heart under as little strain as possible. Calling 911 is a simple action, but it's one that saves lives. Don't hesitate, don't second-guess yourself, and don't let fear stop you. Now that help is on the way, your next step is to focus on protecting your heart and staying as calm as possible until the professionals arrive. Let's talk about how to do that effectively in the next section. 3. Rest, loosen clothing, and minimize movement. Once you've called 911 and help is on the way, your next priority is to protect your heart by minimizing strain on your body. This might sound simple, but in moments of panic, even the smallest actions can have a big impact. Trust me, as someone who has treated countless heart attack patients, I've seen how staying calm and conserving energy can make all the difference. First, you need to stop whatever you're doing. If you're standing, sit down immediately. If you're in an unsafe place, like the bathroom or outdoors in the yard, move carefully to a spot where you can wait safely for help. Avoid sudden movements or exertion. Even something as simple as walking across the room could strain your heart further. Once you're in a stable position, the best posture is sitting upright with your upper body slightly elevated. Lean against a wall, a sturdy chair, or prop yourself up with pillows if you're lying down. This position helps your heart pump more efficiently and allows you to breathe easier. I remember a patient, Sarah, who experienced her heart attack while gardening. She instinctively tried to clean up her tools and finish what she was doing before sitting down. By the time help arrived, her symptoms had worsened. I always tell my patients, when it comes to your heart, nothing else matters in that moment. Drop everything, get comfortable, and focus on staying as still as possible. Once you're settled, take a moment to loosen any tight clothing. Items like belts, ties, or even a snug bra can restrict your breathing and circulation. I've seen patients underestimate how much relief this small adjustment can bring. Freeing up your chest and abdomen allows you to breathe more deeply and comfortably, which is critical when your heart is under stress. Now, here's something you might not have considered. Don't overdo it. Sometimes people get caught up in trying to prepare for the ambulance, grabbing medications, packing a bag, or even tidying up their home. Resist the urge. These actions, however small they seem, can drain precious energy that your heart needs to keep functioning. Your only job is to stay still and conserve your strength. While waiting, it's natural to feel restless or tempted to move around. Anxiety might push you to pace or do something, but every step you take puts additional strain on your heart. If you must adjust your position to feel more comfortable, do it slowly and with as little effort as possible. Remember, this is about giving your heart a chance to recover, not making it work harder. It's also important to stay aware of your surroundings. If you feel like you're losing consciousness, try to position yourself in a way that minimizes the risk of falling or injury. For example, if you're sitting, lean slightly against a stable surface so you're less likely to topple over. By resting, loosening restrictive clothing, and minimizing movement, you're giving your heart the best possible chance to keep functioning until help arrives. These small, deliberate actions can make a significant difference. Now that your body is in the right state, the next step is learning how to control your breathing and remain calm. Let's explore how to do that in the next section. 4. Use aspirin and control your breathing. While waiting for help to arrive, there are 2 crucial actions you can take to support your heart. Using aspirin, if available and safe for you, and managing your breathing. These steps may seem small, but they can significantly improve your chances of survival and minimize the damage to your heart. Let's start with aspirin. As a cardiologist, I always recommend that my patients keep aspirin readily accessible, especially if they're at risk for heart problems. Aspirin works by thinning the blood, which can help prevent a clot from getting bigger or forming new ones. If you suspect you're having a heart attack and you've been advised by your doctor to take aspirin in emergencies, this is the time to do so. Chew 1 regular strength aspirin tablet, about 300 milligrams, instead of swallowing it whole. Chewing helps the medication absorb into your bloodstream faster, which is critical during a heart attack. However, I want to stress that safety comes first. If you're allergic to aspirin, have been told by your doctor not to take it, or don't have it readily available, skip the step. Never put yourself at risk by trying to find aspirin in hard-to-reach places or exerting yourself to retrieve it. If it's not within arm's reach, let it go. The priority is conserving your energy and waiting for medical professionals to arrive. Now, let's talk about your breathing. In a moment of crisis, panic is almost inevitable. Your heart is racing, your chest feels tight, and fear takes over. But as counterintuitive as it might feel, staying calm can make all the difference. When you panic, your heart rate and blood pressure spike, putting even more stress on your already struggling heart. Here's what I recommend to my patients. Focus on slow, deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 3, then exhale slowly through your mouth for another count of 3. Imagine you're blowing out a candle or gently letting air out of a balloon. This kind of controlled breathing helps lower your heart rate, reduces the strain on your heart, and allows your body to use oxygen more efficiently. I remember a patient, Jim, who came to my office after surviving a heart attack at home. He told me that focusing on his breathing kept him from completely spiraling into panic. By concentrating on something he could control, he was able to stay alert and calm until help arrived. This simple technique isn't just about staying calm, it's about giving your body the best chance to survive. If deep breathing feels overwhelming or difficult, try another method. Focus on something in your surroundings. Pick a fixed object, a clock, a picture frame, or even a spot on the wall, and let your mind anchor there. Mentally repeat a calming word or phrase such as, "I am safe," or "help is coming." These small mental exercises can distract you from the fear and keep you grounded. Remember, controlling your breathing isn't just about managing your emotions. It's a physical tool to help your heart work more effectively under stress. Together with the effects of aspirin, if you've taken it, you're doing everything within your power to support your body until professional help arrives. Every step you take, using aspirin wisely, staying still, and calming your breath, brings you closer to safety. Now that you've done everything you can to protect your heart, let's look at how to prepare for the future and prevent this situation from happening again. We'll cover that in the next section. 5. Plan for the future and prevent heart attacks. Surviving a heart attack when you're alone is a triumph, but the ultimate goal is to prevent it from happening again, or better yet, to avoid it altogether. As a cardiologist, I've seen how simple, proactive steps can dramatically reduce the risk of heart attacks, especially for seniors. Preparing for emergencies and building a heart-healthy lifestyle are two pillars of prevention that can save your life. First, let's talk about preparation. If you've already experienced a heart attack, you're at a higher risk for another one. This means having a clear plan in place is not just helpful, it's essential. Keep emergency contacts easily accessible, whether in your phone or written down somewhere obvious, like on your fridge or in your wallet. Always have your phone charged, and if you're at high risk, consider investing in a medical alert device that can quickly connect you to emergency services at the push of a button. Another simple yet crucial step is keeping aspirin or any doctor-prescribed emergency medication in an easy-to-reach spot. I've had patients keep a small pill box by their bed, in their purse, or even attached to their keychain. The easier it is to access in a crisis, the better. Let your family or close friends know where these items are so they can assist if needed. Just as important as preparation is prevention. Heart attacks don't happen in isolation. They're often the result of years of stress on your heart. The good news is that even small lifestyle changes can have a significant impact. Start with your diet. A heart-healthy diet is rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats like those found in nuts, seeds, and fish. Cutting back on processed foods, sugar, salt, and saturated fats can help keep your arteries clear and your heart strong. Regular exercise is another cornerstone of prevention. Now, I know the idea of exercising can feel daunting, especially if you're older or have health concerns. But staying active doesn't mean running marathons. It can be as simple as taking a 30-minute walk 5 times a week. Activities like gardening, yoga, or swimming can also help improve circulation, lower blood pressure, and boost overall heart health. The key is consistency. Find something you enjoy and make it a part of your routine. Managing stress is equally important. Chronic stress can lead to high blood pressure and other heart problems. I often tell my patients to find activities that bring them joy or peace, whether it's reading, spending time with loved ones, or practicing meditation. Even just 10 minutes a day of focused relaxation can make a big difference. Sleep is another factor that often gets overlooked. Poor sleep quality, or not getting enough sleep, can raise your risk of heart problems. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep each night. If you're struggling with sleep, talk to your doctor about possible solutions. Lastly, if you smoke, quitting is one of the best things you can do for your heart. Smoking damages your arteries, raises your blood pressure, and significantly increases your risk of heart attacks. I know it's not easy, but there are resources and support groups that can help you make this life-saving change. Preventing heart attacks isn't just about what you do, it's also about recognizing warning signs early. Don't ignore symptoms like fatigue, chest discomfort, or palpitations, even if they seem minor. The earlier you address potential problems, the more likely you are to avoid a crisis. Living with heart health in mind might feel like a big commitment, but I promise you the rewards are worth it. By preparing for emergencies and making small, consistent changes to your lifestyle, you can reduce your risk of future heart attacks and enjoy a longer, healthier life. You've made it through the toughest moments, and now you have the tools to protect yourself moving forward. If this advice resonated with you, share it with your loved ones. They deserve this knowledge too. Together, we can create a future where heart attacks are less of a threat and more of a preventable challenge. As a doctor, my mission is to help you live longer and healthier. Knowing how to survive a heart attack when you're alone is essential, but prevention is always the best medicine. Recognize the signs, act quickly, and take care of your heart every day. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more tips. Together, we can make a difference in living a safer, healthier life.